Another special summer of football awaits. Really looking forward to it, the Club World Cup, and as Natasha says, the Women's Euros taking place in Switzerland as well. Got to leave it there, though. Our Sports World team this hour has been the former Premier League defender Stephen Kelly and the former England and Liverpool striker Natasha Dowie. Many thanks to both of you for football in 2025. Coming up here on a very special hour in the company of arguably one of the sportswomen of the year. The newly crowned Olympic 100 metres champion, Julian Alfred, will be in conversation with Ed Harry and Adi Adadoin. Life-changing summer in Paris. That's all to come. Stay with us here on the BBC.
Bindigil with the BBC News. Vladimir Putin has apologised to Azerbaijan's president for the Azerbaijan Airlines plane, describing it as a tragic incident in Russian airspace. It's been widely the plane down on Wednesday. Steve Rosenberg is in Moscow.
The Azerbaijan Airlines flight had been trying to land on Christmas Day. At that time, according to the Kremlin, were repelling a Union drone attack. So you could put two and two together from the readout. So basically the Kremlin is kind of blaming.
Germany has demanded that the European Union impose new sanctions on Russia's so-called shadow fleet of ships. Earlier this week, one of the vessels was suspected of sabotaging an undersea power cable linking Finland and Estonia. The Taliban in Afghanistan say their forces have carried out what they called retaliatory attacks on Pakistani territory. At least one Pakistani paramilitary soldier was killed in Pakistan's Garam district in exchanges of fire early on Saturday. Ian McWilliam reports.
When the Taliban returned to power in Kabul 3 years ago, Islamabad hailed it as the start of warmer ties, but the friendship has soured as attacks by jihadist fighters have increased. Pakistan, backed up by a United Nations security report, says Afghanistan harbours militants of the Pakistani Taliban, the TTP, on its territory. The Afghan Taliban authorities say the TTP are an internal Pakistani issue, but with close ideological ties, they don't see the TTP as a terrorist group. For its part, Kabul accuses Islamabad of harbouring extremist Islamic State fighters who carry out attacks in Afghanistan.
An influential religious leader has been kidnapped in northern Mali in an area where Islamist militants northern Mali as a base to carry out attacks across the Sahel region. Here's Will Ross.
Eyewitnesses said Amadou Hadi Tal was in a convoy of vehicles returning from a religious meeting in a village near Mali's border with Mauritania when he was seized by gunmen. He heads a Sufi order known as Tijaniya. Its beliefs are far more moderate than those of the jihadist groups operating in the region. When Islamist militants seized large areas of northern Mali over a decade ago, they destroyed many Sufi shrines and tombs. These extremist groups were later pushed out of cities and towns, but attacks are still common. Millions of people are displaced, and the wider West African region is increasingly at risk.
BBC News.